Hello out there for everyone out in YouTube land or wherever you may be watching this. Welcome to episode number 3 of Perfect Team 23 Genesis. This is a look into the Perfect Team series on OOTP 23. This is episode number 3. I am Simulation Gaming Digital Realities, where we make simulation come to life. I have been a huge baseball fan all my life. I have loved the simulation aspect of baseball, from keeping records of statistics of baseball players, tracking baseball players at baseball games. I always loved the numbers and the facts and the what if kind of situation. So OOTP provides us with that perfect opportunity, no pun intended, to play out the baseball universe the way that we want to. So once again, thank you for tuning in. For those of you that have not seen the first 2 episodes, please go back, check them out. And if you like the content, it would mean so much for you to leave a like or subscribe or leave a comment, as I want this to be our series as much as it is my series. The first 2 episodes, we looked at building the team. We opened some packs. Again, I am logging on to Perfect Team as I make each video, so I am not making any changes as of yet between videos. What you see me doing during the videos is all I have done up till this point right now. As you can see on the screen, Perfect Team allows you to play some tournaments as well. Many different tournaments to choose from. I like to tend to focus on the bronze tournaments. I always have. I don't know what drew me to bronze, but it's just kind of a level that I feel comfortable with. As you can see, I have entered some bronze tournaments along the way. I haven't really put a lot of thought and detail into the tournaments and building that perfect lineup. What I'm doing is simply entering, seeing how they play out, and then after, 8 to 10 tournaments, I'll go in and look at them and see kind of the trends and which players perform well for the winning teams, and then I'll start to construct my lineup around that. So little tip, little bit of strategy, always go back after a tournament. Look at the teams that won the tournament or did well in the tournament. Look at which players did well in the tournament and build your team to try and emulate some of the successes from other managers. Nothing wrong with that. Again, whether it's a silver tournament, diamond tournament, iron tournament, find your niche and really focus. That's a great way to get packs and perfect coins. Really good way to build your lineup over time. All right, so logging back in from episode number 2, we were 4th place, I believe, 3rd or 4th place in the entry pool. The entry pool will end on Sunday night, so a couple more days to go. And you can see that the Rocky Mountain Gladiators are still hanging in there. We're still a top 10 team. We are now 50-33, 10.5 games back, 7th overall in the entry pool. Again, that's fantastic. It means the team is pretty solid for where it is right now. And after Sunday night, come Monday morning, we all will be put into the first league on Perfect Team 23. So all of us, no matter what your team looks like, will be put into the rookie level. And then we will try and work our way up to the ultimate elite level known as the Perfect League. How fitting. Moving along, as I like to always do, especially with these early first videos, let's go in and buy a couple packs and see what our pack luck is like. So first pack, And 2,000 points. We got one more pack that we can buy. Let's see if we can pull off that special card that's going to push us further up into the entry pool. Again, with the regular packs, you're guaranteed one bronze card. And wow, right off the bat, we got a diamond, and it is level 90, Brian Reynolds. Level 90, Brian Reynolds. So for a 90 player, kind of surprising me at the attributes. I thought we might get a little higher attributes. Looks like his defense in left field. He's a center fielder as well. Nothing outstanding on the base attributes that we see here, but he is a diamond player. He will suit me well in the entry pool, and then I can sell him for at least a minimum of 4,000 perfect points when I feel he no longer can make a contribution. Or I can keep him for the different challenges that come along with Perfect Team. Well, I don't think we're going to beat that pack, but let's give it a shot. Guaranteed at least one bronze. Let's see what we have in pack number 2. Hoping for at least a silver in pack number 2. What do we got? As it loads up. Well, we did freeze up there. First time Perfect Team OOTP 23 has frozen up on me. However, it did not open that second pack yet. So let's open it up. Like I said, hoping for at least a silver or a good bronze. Well, we did get 3 bronze. It's a little bit more than normal. Nothing outstanding, no historical players. However, I have a feeling in this version of OOTP, live players might have a little more impact than they have in previous versions. So, couple Blue Jay, one Blue Jay, Corey Dickerson, Tapia, again, pretty good defense. I believe I already have him on my team, so he would be a duplicate that I could sell. And then a couple iron players that, again, are good for collection, but probably won't make the lineup, even though Garrett Clevenger has pretty good stuff. All right, let's go and take a look at how our team has performed over the last 24 hours. Mudville 9 are still in first place. They've built up a pretty solid entry pool team. And then we've got kind of a clump of teams within 4 or 5 games, including Rocky Mountain. Again, if you guys are watching this and you are in the same entry pool, leave a comment. Let me know what team you are. I'd love to kind of look at viewers and the teams that they have built so far, what your team is looking like, what your standings are looking like. So please leave a comment. Are you the Sudbury Bulls? Are you the Los Angeles Lobos? Let me know in the comments below. Pitching wise, let's always take a look at our pitchers first, see if they're performing where they should be, and I'm happy with this. Mace Brown, I'm going to, well, no, his ERA is a little bit better than the 5th guy, but the way I ordered them is pretty much what I expected. ERA wise, we got our best pitcher at the top, all the way down to kind of our worst ERA. Wins and losses, well, that's kind of hit and miss depending on the hitting lineup that you've built up. But Logan Webb, 7-5. Frank Laurie, outstanding. He was kind of struggling in episode number 2, but he's really picked it up and he's gone 12-4 in the entry pool. So for those of you that are headed off to the rookie pool next week, might want to take a look if you can get Frank Laurie. He seems to be doing well. Let's see if there's some on the shop. Well, it looks like there are 3 sell orders and only 1 buy order. So right now, we've got an $8,000 low for this card. Wow, that's pretty good. So whoever is selling this card sees the high value, and I understand that high value because he is 12-4 for the Rocky Mountain Gladiators. In the bullpen, not too bad. I am a little concerned with Sam Clay. I kind of expected that. That's why I have him on avoid high leverage, because I don't want him in a high pressured, close situation. Looking at the card itself, he is only a 47. I kept him in the lineup because of that movement. Hasn't given up a lot of runs in his last 5 appearances. 5 saves, which is pretty decent. I'm actually surprised that the AI has put him in higher, in higher leverage situations. I think we're going to move him out of the lineup. I don't like that ERA. So he is one player that in a little bit we will change out. All right, now is the time to check our hitters. How is Mr. Franchise Mel Ott doing as a gladiator? Is he continuing his hot pace? Once again, I like to kind of order them by WAR, at least to start off with. So DJ Lemehu, one of our higher ranking players, he is a diamond that we pulled off in the first episode, and he is performing really well in the entry pool. Look at his last 5 games. He's had multiple hit games, all 5 games, driving in some runs. Average, I didn't expect it to be that high, but I'll take it. So here's a case of where a live player is performing probably better than he would have in OOTP 21 or 22. So that's a good sign that live players might have more of an impact in this year's version. Bill Mueller, who is performing well in episode 2, he has a 360 average, he has a 3.8 WAR, 8 home runs, 55 RBIs. He is a keeper as of right now, and Mr. Ramos is up there with a 304 average and a 3.8 WAR. Our franchise player, Mel Ott, average worries me a little bit. I don't mind a cleanup hitter, a power hitter with a low average, but I would not want to go any much lower than about 240. Anything lower than 240, and it's probably time to find a replacement. And right now, Mel, you got to pick it up, buddy. You got to get your gaming gear. You're a 96 rated player and you're only hitting 223. Your WAR is 2.6, which isn't too bad. It's one of the highest on the team. You do have 12 home runs, but I need you to get a few more hits. I can't allow you to be that free out for the opposing teams. Eddie Collins, you're doing well, 327. If you watched the first episode, I did predict that Eddie Collins would do well. I like Eddie Collins. He's done well in past versions, and even though he's only a 75, I think he will play pretty good. He kind of reminds me of George Wright. For those of you that played OOTP 21, there was a silver historical player, George Wright, who played really well up until even the gold level. George Wright was a consistent player. So I think Eddie Collins might be this year's George Wright. You might want to get him, throw him on your team, at least till you work your way probably up till gold. Let's find out if there are some on the market. Doesn't look like it. I don't see any George or Eddie Collins. Look out for him. If you pull him in a pack, throw him in your lineup. I think you will be pleasantly surprised, especially with that avoid case. Who else we got performing well? We got Nick Senzel at a 288. We've got Owen Miller at a 319, and in limited play, Bobby Bradley at a 412. The changes we made in episode 2, if you haven't watched episode 2, go back and watch it. Some cool things. See how we built the lineup to where it is today. Replacements, I think I'm only going to make one in the hitting department, and that's going to be Lonnie Frey. He was the last guy I added last episode. And, you know, he hasn't done horribly, but a 194, not what I want moving forward. Therefore, we are going to substitute Lonnie Frey as a hitter, and we're going to substitute Sam Clay. Preferably, I'd like another lefty in the bullpen, and hitter-wise, looking for another middle infielder. All right, Sam Clay, you're on the reserve list. Thank you for your time in the Gladiator system. And the second guy we were going to move over, where was he? Let's take a quick look again. Yes, it was Lonnie Frey. Well, one choice is easy. We got to move over Brian Reynolds. He's the 90 diamond that we pulled in our pack today. And for the replacement pitcher, I'm going to go with Lance McCullers Jr. Not the best starter, low stamina, but I'm going to try him out in the bullpen. And we'll see how that works out so we can check in episode 4 whether those were good moves. What do you guys think? Leave a comment. You think Lance McCullers Jr.? And, well, I don't think anyone would say I shouldn't move over Brian Reynolds. I think he would be the obvious choice. It's just now a matter of where do we put him in the lineup? Do we put him in center field? Let's take a look at his ratings. Pretty good. Maybe better as a left fielder, but our current left fielder, Mr. Ramos, kind of like him in left. And our center field, Nick Senzel, yeah, I think he's the guy that we can put into the DH role. So I'm going to remove, how's Joe Evans been doing? 323. Remember we added him last game. Or last episode. He's done well. Didn't I tell you? I said, I have a feeling about Joe Evans. He's only a 54 rated player, but I just had a feeling that he would perform well. We are going to move out. Tough call here. Can't really move out our catcher. Need him. Where is he better in the hitting department? He's a slightly better right-handed hitter against right-handed pitchers. All right, Nick Senzel, we're going to move you out. Brian Reynolds, you're going to go in as center fielder. I'm going to leave the lineup how it is because the averages and the WAR for these players are pretty good. And in the left-hand hitting department, let's do the same thing. Brian Reynolds in for Nick Senzel. Because you're a little bit better with the right-handed, I'm going to move you to where Owen Mueller was. Owen Mueller hitting 332, 319, I guess. A little bit dangerous. I don't want to destroy his groove. Ramos, you're hitting well. Let's not tempt fate. Let's keep Brian Reynolds in the 8th spot. Let's see how he does. And let's move Sean Murphy up and Garrett Anderson up. Let's try that. All right, again, I always just go with kind of an AI-generated depth chart, especially in the entry pool. Don't need to overthink it. And in the pitching department, we brought in Lance McCullers Jr. as a middle reliever. I'll put a secondary role as long relief, simply because we only have a void high leverage guy there. We will click submit. And let's end off this episode by looking at the statistics. Once again, we are still in the top 10. The Gladiators can still be proud of being in the top 10. In fact, we are now number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, number 7 in the league. And this is a big entry pool. Probably close to 40 teams there. This is why I built the lineup that I did. All of the players in the lineup, well, I think maybe I bought 1 or 2 bronze guys, but everyone else is from the packs that we opened. Bill Mueller, second of all the hitters in the entry pool. He is number 2, and DJ Lemehu is number 3. So where they are in the lineup, the role I've given them, they are successful in. We have 1 pitcher in the top 3 for wins, and that is dear old Frank, who we talked about before. He is tied for the entry pool lead in wins. We are not amongst any of the leaders other than our on-base percentage is 3rd in the entry pool, which again I'll take because there are a lot of teams in the entry pool. Milestones, nothing to write home about yet. And let's check out our transaction history. Again, some of the achievements, in-game achievements, some of the perfect points that we've earned, including our login, consecutive days logging in, and a few other smaller ones as well. Again, I have not purchased any perfect points. I tend not to purchase them. I like to earn them. And we've been using them for buying packs. And so far, it's worked out pretty well. Other leaders, just to point out some names that you might want to look for because they're doing well in the entry pool. So other than the Gladiators that we talked about, in terms of WAR, 4.6 for Mr. Duran, who is a future legend. So I would expect him to do well. He's hitting where is he here? He's hitting 325. Well done. And in terms of WAR, tied for first with 4.6 is another future legend. What that tells me is future legends have been kind of given a boost so far. So you may want to enter some future legends in your lineup. This guy looks really good as an 85, really good defensive player as well. Might want to go out and get him if you have some perfect points to spend. And finally, let's take a look at some of the entry pool leaders in terms of pitching. Always kind of like to take a quick look at WAR. Same as last episode, John Candelaria is leading in pitching category for WAR at a 4.3, far and above anyone else in the entry pool. Here is another guy you might want to be on the lookout for. He is quite expensive. 13,000 perfect points is what he's on the auction market for. Again, I haven't really spent a lot of time with the card shop, so I'm not really familiar with the listing aspect and how you can find different cards and how you purchase cards. Haven't really dug into that yet. That will be a future episode. Right now, just kind of getting a look at the entry pool. Save-wise, we've got a lot of players with 23 saves. Might be, some people you might want to look for. Hope you're getting some packs. Look like they're performing well. And in terms of some of the streaky players, we've got a 25-game hitting streak by Jim McTamani. Haven't seen that name in previous versions. Jim McTamani. Cool. Center fielder, great defender, fielding stats. Yep, what I would expect. Here is our hitter streak of 25, 4,500 perfect points if you want him. He's on the market. And what other streaks are kind of interesting to look at? 18 game save streak for a live 60 overall player. That's amazing. Must have a good team built around him for a 60 overall player. And what else do we got here? Let's give some love to a pitcher. Undefeated streak of 12 games for live Chris Sale. Had a couple losses recently, but did well in that undefeated streak. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, if you've been here for all 3 episodes, thank you so much. As a new channel, it is difficult to build up that base and to get people to buy into the content that you're trying to provide. So thank you for being part of my community. Please go like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. Hopefully we can build up our base a little higher, a few more subscriptions, a few more views. I want to keep making content for OOTP. I've played OOTP since version number 9, and I feel like I've got fairly decent managerial skills. And I'm hoping you can pick up some tips and strategies, and I'm also hoping you can give me some of your successful strategies. Feel free, leave comments. We will see you in the next episode. It's a great day for baseball.